Wifelike Enterprises rolls out an advertisement that leads men to believe that having an AI-programmed wife or companion would spice up their lives. The said company manufactures a registered companion who will act as a perfect submissive wife to bring pleasure and satisfaction to their owners. William Bradwell, a top-performing agent who protects the welfare of these wife bots, is then rewarded with his very own registered companion, who uncannily resembles his late wife, Meredith. As soon as he's escorted to meet his new wife, William brings Meredith back home. He patiently guides her in remembering who she is, what he is in her life, and their relationship dynamics. That night, William and Meredith are seated on their bed, and the latter instructs William on how to activate her features, particularly in terms of intimacy. She discusses the terms and conditions and how to use her and how William will become liable once any damage happens to her. During this whole time, Meredith has been speaking using the third-person point of view, totally not gaining possession of Meredith's identity. To perform her basic function as a wife companion, Meredith asks William what he wants her to do until they start getting intimate with each other. However, this setup also has its downside because the couple can't sleep together, for Meredith needs to recharge to efficiently deliver her functions the next day. The following morning, William is glued to watching the morning news while Meredith prepares his breakfast. The news reports the demonstration created by the SCARE group, or the Sentient Citizens for AI Rights Against the Wifelike Company, and their unjust treatment of women. The next news item details the abduction of wife companions, leaving Meredith perplexed as to why someone would steal a companion. According to William, it was carried out by the SCARE organization, which is believed to be a revolutionary group. He explains that to ensure the safety of the wife companions, he's going after the mastermind of this group, the Ringmaster. He also adds that some companions are sold in underground markets while others are reprogrammed to walk to crowded areas while carrying explosives on their chests. Then, he eats and finally bids his wife goodbye as he needs to report to work. At work, William's supervisor proceeds to alert the agents about the rampant abduction of the wife companions. She also gives William credit for his outstanding performance. She uses this to inspire others to work hard like him while reminding them to remain vigilant, especially with the SCARE's growing number. Soon enough, the protection agency locates some of the abducted companions being kept in a house in a dark room. A companion named Wendy then opens her eyes, and after registering the condition she's in, she quietly exits the room and tries not to alert their abductors. Upon ensuring that no one is around, she grabs a coat and escapes the place through the window. She then jumps off and lands on the ground, but unfortunately, she is unable to run quickly as her neck collar starts to malfunction. Due to consecutive static, she loses her balance and falls to her knees. William finds her in this position and carefully asks for her name and condition. Wendy introduces herself and says that her operational services are disconnected. She also shares about the remaining companions inside the room and gives them relevant information and a description of one of their abductors. William then instructs Wendy to stay safe as he goes inside the house, leaving behind his partner, Agent Jack Dirksen. William quietly enters the place and sees a shadow of a man who seems to be throwing punches in the air. He aims his gun at the man, but upon realizing that he cannot see him because he's playing a VR game, he knocks him out with a punch and proceeds to the room where the companions are kept. William walks towards the companion sitting in the corner of the room, and while checking her condition, he hears a noise coming from behind him, where he finds another man grabbing another companion as a hostage. Luckily, William is able to take the man down before he shoots him, and as soon as Jack enters the room, William leaves the scene and relies on Jack to take care of the perpetrators. Back at William's residence, Meredith lies on her specialized chair to begin her recharging. After closing her eyes, she is transported to the dreamscape, where she encounters Ido, her interactive dream operator. Ido is the one who helps her decide on what to dream about, and for that moment, he decides to send Meredith to a birthday party, where she finds herself gracing down the stairs. In that dream, Meredith is the one celebrating her birthday, and seconds later, William joins her to greet her and compliment how gorgeous she looks. Suddenly, an unfamiliar woman interrupts their moment and asks to borrow Meredith for a dance. The woman introduces herself as Liddy, who seems to be Meredith's forgotten acquaintance. While they're dancing, Meredith spots a masked man standing in the corner. Out of curiosity, she approaches the man and confusingly accepts the card he hands her, and the man says it'll help her remember everything before leaving. Meanwhile, William arrives at the Wifelike building to deliver the companions he retrieved from his recent operation. The staff escorts William and the companions into a lounge to join the other ladies. When they arrive, William has a bizarre encounter with two companions companions named Ollie and Liddy, who stare at him angrily and even flip him off. The staff asks William to dismiss them and says that the two are known for their rudeness. The next morning, Meredith inquires about the masked man who handed her a card, but Ido finds no record or memory about him in her dream. She then settles on familiarizing herself with the real Meredith's hobbies, so Ido starts to enumerate the things Meredith liked doing. Surprisingly, she also suggests trying things not registered in Meredith's past memory, such as knitting. After a while, she decides to ride a bike outside and almost hits an odd lady who claims to be someone she knows. This lady keeps insisting that they know each other and pressures her to regain her memories. When Meredith shares her weird encounter with the lady with William, her husband instructs her to be careful around women, especially since women hate companions for taking away men's attention from them. Later that day, the couple is relaxing outside when William notices that Meredith is starting to call herself I, which means that his real wife's memory is merging with the AI's. The couple is pleased with this progress, and Meredith continues to surprise William by giving him the item she knitted. That night, as she enters her dreamscape, Meredith informs Ido that she is beginning to become familiar with the real Meredith's memories, and decides that her dream should be about her first encounter with her husband. This beautiful dream, however, turns into a nightmare when she discovers the masked man standing next to her instead of William. The man insists on knowing everything there is to know about Meredith, and just as he lunges at her, William wakes her up from her bad dream. Meredith's curiosity about the masked man grows, but William assures her that the man isn't important. The following morning, the Wifelike company dispatches William on another mission to retrieve a companion named Lisa Mooser. Despite his brief interaction with Lisa, he begins to notice some of her unusual behavior. Lisa seems to have a mind of her own and take control of her actions, which opposes the submissive and well-behaved nature of the registered companions. Nonetheless, William attempts to persuade her to come with him, but just as he believes she will now cooperate, she runs away from him, locks herself in a room, and jumps out the building's window, leaving him confused. Meanwhile, Meredith is cleaning the house when she notices the odd lady from the other day sitting in their living room. She confronts her about how she found her, but the woman just mocks her predictable and robot-like behavior. To grab Meredith's attention, the woman starts talking about the mysterious man and how he wants to meet Meredith. However, Meredith quickly counters that this could be one of her abduction mechanisms, and she instead threatens the woman that their conversation is being recorded and that she must leave their home before her husband arrives. But the lady appears unfazed by the threat, and even leaves a message for William, and finally reveals that the mysterious man behind the mask is named Keen. Then, before leaving, the woman tells Meredith her name is Louise. Back at the company, William has just finished returning the companion to its owner when he notices another advertisement stating that the company now offers bot babies. The staff approaches him to congratulate him on his work, but William instead questions her about the necessity of creating and selling AI-powered babies. The staff responds that everyone deserves to become parents, to which William strongly objects. He then orders the staff to allow him to speak with Marion Venter, the man in the advertisements and creator of Wifelike Enterprises. As soon as they face each other, William tells Marion about what he observed in Lisa and expresses his worry about how others may act similarly to how she did. But Marion dismisses William's complaint by telling him that there is nothing to worry about and that a little mess and uncertainties are part of the evolving future. When William returns home, Meredith greets him and asks about his day like a perfect wife. She also tells him about Louise's unexpected visit and inquires about Keen. Seeing William's bizarre reaction to the mention of Keen's name, she offers to play her recorded video to give him a grasp on how her encounter with Louise went. After a few moments, William calls Jack, interrupting his brewing romance with his partner. As he needs to prioritize his duty, Jack rushes to William's house to assist him in tracking down Keen, who is believed to be a member of the Scare organization. William sees it as an opportunity to take down the group and bring security to the wife companions. With Meredith's consent, they hack into her dream to track down Keen's location. They also take note of the address that Keen gives to Meredith, where he wants her to meet him. Jack and his team barge into the supposed location and only find a case that emits gas. While on the other hand, William arrives at the address Keen gave Meredith and just sees a mannequin. Then, he realizes they'd fallen for Keen's trap and rushes home to check on his wife, who says she found a notebook outside the door earlier when someone knocked. Eventually, William defeatedly reveals Meredith's dark past, on how she was once involved in a bombing tragedy that resulted in fatalities. He also convinces her that everything he does is to protect her. After that, William talks to Jack through a video call and acknowledges that Keen is a step ahead of them. So he devises a new defense strategy that involves meeting Keen in Meredith's dream. However, Jack knows how risky William's plan is, so he continuously reminds him about the law and the ethical standards in tackling the situation. William assures Jack that he just wants to talk to Keen and informs him they'll go to his place. There, William instructs Meredith to wake up when her battery drops to 10% before they both drift away to the dreamscape. As soon as William comes face to face with Keen, he asks Meredith and Jack to give them time to speak alone. Meredith leaves to give them privacy, but as soon as she's out of sight, William unceremoniously attacks Keen, leading to a heated fistfight. The poor Meredith aimlessly runs into the woods, but when she starts to get lost, she desperately calls for Ido to transport her to another dream, which brings her back to her birthday party. Seconds later, William and Keen also get transported into the same dream, where Meredith witnesses their brawl. William then yells for everyone to leave the area and continues to punch Keen. He's gaining momentum, but just as when he is close to claiming his enemy's life, Meredith has to wake up because her battery drops to 10%. Once they return to reality, William is irritated by how close he was to defeating Keen. He then apologizes to Meredith for putting her in that situation and hints about wiping her memories away upon getting home. But Meredith expresses her opposition to having her memories erased. William then reassures her that he will be with her every step of the way and will assist her in regaining her memories. Putting her full trust in William, Meredith agrees to return to Wifelike Enterprises for a memory wipe. But when she meets the other wife companions, the puzzles in her life start to fit in place. As she tries talking to them, a companion named Ollie also provokes Meredith to remember her past, just like what everybody else has been doing. Ollie then tells her a secret on how she can hold on to her memories by saving them under the dream mode, holding on to them while she undergoes the memory wiping and getting them back through a random dream. Upon hearing this, Meredith seems to understand that this is not the first time her memories have been wiped out, so she hurriedly meets with Ido in her dreamscape and orders him to play all the dream files she saved under random. On the other hand, Louise gets into Jack's apartment, where she meets with Jack's partner, Holly. Louise hands Holly a flash drive and asks her to give it to Jack. Although Holly finds her suspicious, she still delivers the flash drive to Jack, which contains highly confidential and important information to help resolve Keen's case. The next morning, Meredith's memory wipe is finally completed, but while she sits rigidly, she gains flashbacks of her memories, including her true identity, her connection to Keen, how she met William, and so on. But when she faces William back at their house, she pretends not to know anything and that everything is new to her. The scene plays like a deja vu on how William goes with his usual introduction about himself. Once William tells Meredith that she is his wife, Jack enters their house and puts an end to William's delusions. William politely requests Meredith to give them privacy, and as soon as she's out of sight, Jack confronts William about his lies and how he ended the life of Keen Morrison, Meredith's true partner. After allowing William to explain his side, Jack informs him of his detention and revokes his companion ownership privileges. But to protect his secret, William draws his firearm and shoots Jack. Later, he discovers that Meredith witnessed his crime, and she innocently points out how William executed Jack just like he killed Keen. William instantly realizes that Meredith's memory was not wiped out. Meredith completely remembers everything, including William's growing obsession with her, to the point of using his power to detain her and Keen and force them to join him in his car. Meredith then vividly recalls her first encounter with William as they spoke inside the car. She first met him when she knocked on his door, asking for his signature to support their protest against Wifelike Enterprises and the creation of wife companions. Since then, William persistently followed her around like an obsessed stalker. Meredith grew scared of William, but as powerless as she was unable to do anything when William asked Keen to step out of the vehicle and blew his head off. Back in the present, William tries to come clean by insisting that what he did was to protect Meredith. He even justifies smothering her in her sleep using a pillow resembling what Meredith knitted, and putting a ring on her finger to make it seem like she was his wife. But with her pent-up rage, William's sweet talk gains no effect on Meredith. This even fuels her to activate her strength mode and set it to the maximum level. She then grabs him by his collar and sends him collapsing on the floor. It is also revealed that Louise is the one who's been hacking into Meredith's dream, posing as Keen and using a mask to make her remember everything. Every pain Meredith inflicts on William is equivalent to the kind of misery that he put her through. She mercilessly breaks his limbs, one after another, and finally, she takes him down by smothering him. Gaining freedom from William means another life for Meredith. She finally rejoins her female comrades who have been waiting for her return. They warmly welcome Meredith and let her reclaim her power as the Scare's notorious ringmaster. She delivers her plans for the liberty of every wife companion. Never again will they be submissive to anyone, and they soon started cheering, "Life begins now." Back in the Wifelike building, Marion Venter laments the death of Agent Jack Dirksen, which they blame on the Scare organization. He promises to bring him justice by locating the ringmaster, and announces that he will delegate command of this critical mission to Agent William Bradwell, who is also now a companion. A bigger fight is brewing as Meredith and William promise to hunt each other down.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.